Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have a very good presentation by the four excellent speakers, and I'm sure we have a lot of questions from the audience. But according to the schedule, I think we have a panel discussion. So each of the speakers could ask questions from the other speakers, about their talk. And then if we have any other people coming from the audience, then we'll be happy to address it. Well, actually, maybe I'll start the first question. Actually, when I was listening to the talk, particularly, I remember a sentence that Professor Mao mentioned in Chinese, of course. And I was so touched because of his frankness. He said in Shenzhen University, or in Shenzhen, the higher education is very backward, but the science and the innovation and technology is leading in the region. So that's quite a surprise. Usually, if you need to have a very advanced higher education so that your science and technology could be advanced. But the same thing in Hong Kong, which is just almost reversed, sorry to say that. We are quite advanced in higher education, but our industry and technology is rather backward, sorry to say. I mean, compared to the business development. So why is that? I'd like to ask from the speaker, why this is a situation which is quite not the same as the theory. Like in the Silicon Valley, you have good university, and then it comes up with all these high-tech companies. Maybe to couple with this question, I like to particularly address to Mr. Mir Lati for your experience in Israel. So you understand China very well, and Hong Kong, you're now in Hong Kong. So what do you think about what should be the major issue we have to tackle so that we could change this scenario? Hong Kong could move forward as it was planned and also as it was decided by the country, at the 14th National Five-Year Plan. They want to move to INT. So what is your view?
Thank you very much, Professor. Allow me, I'm Jewish, and usually when you ask a Jewish person a question, there is good chances that he will reply you with a question. Allow me to do that now. I will ask a question to Hendrik here, but from there I will also reply your question. Anyway, I'm always astonished to hear your CV, which is really, really impressive. When you came back to Hong Kong and you had technological background, strong technological background, you went to work as in the finance industry because it's more developed, right? And there were more opportunities. Had somebody with a background as rich as you will return now to Hong Kong, you returned more than 20 years ago, right? Will he return to the finance industry or the tech industry?
So I answer now? Oh, thank you.
I will answer. I'm not avoiding your question.
So I combined two questions. Thank you, Letty. I think if I came back at a very special time because of the handover 1997. I think that was the time Hong Kong is experiencing a transformational stage. But if we have a chance to restart again, I also think that finance training is very good. Actually, I think finance and technology goes hand in hand. And to go back to Professor Wong's questions about higher education and industry development, I have a quick answer to that. Actually, why Shenzhen and why Hong Kong is like this. I think it's about smart money. It's about finance. Actually, is market efficiencies. If you talk about Silicon Valley, because they have all the infrastructure, good tech and good smart money, and everything goes very well. So this is advanced stage. Shenzhen is actually, they have, I think, it has like a magnet. There's a lot of technology companies and talents already in Shenzhen. Maybe they are educated elsewhere, but they all come to Shenzhen for dream chasing. And there are a lot of smart money, including from the government. They are pushing a lot of money. and also also many VCs are there, and that's why they help these tech companies to grow very quickly. And now Hong Kong, I think Hong Kong is growing, but there's not much smart money around, and that's why it's not advanced at the where we want to be. But I think it's getting better and better because with the blueprint and with the Science Park and Cyberport support, as well as the and other supports in the society. So I think if I have a sort of the chance to redo again, I still want to get this training from finance. Actually, that really, I think, helped my own business growth and combining with technology acquired in the early days. Thank you.
Now I'll reply your questions. First of all, I agree with you. I think a company that its founders only have technical background but no good financial understanding in finance, in marketing, in sales, will probably not do well. So of course this background is important. And I think the most important thing in Hong Kong, but also in China, is it's a global understanding that innovation and creativity is ecosystem, and it has few elements. Government support, of course, is one of them, but probably the one that is relatively faster to move and change. I think the fundamental change should, and I elaborated a little bit, come from education, and that takes time. Education in the broader sense, really about the very core basic of education culture, but also how, and I think this will be a challenge in Hong Kong, how to maybe diversify and change from an economy that to a larger extent is relying on finance, is relying on logistics, is relying on retail, hospitality, to change and diversify, that some of the people will actually go to study more technological degrees. I think this can take time. Of course, it's possible. It will take time. On top of that, it's something that should start from relatively early education. I have to say here, and I will do it, we had a challenge in Israel now how to attract also more people to the tech industry, because in Israel there are roughly 10.5% in the tech industry, accounted for more than 50% of the export. What does it cause? Higher salaries for the talents and creation of two economies, the one that employed in tech, the one that are not employed in tech. There was a committee formulated by the government. They already submitted the results. In a nutshell, the results or the recommendation are basically to start with technological education from early stage, even paying more to teachers that will teach technological education even from middle school and even elementary. That's one. The second is more inclusiveness in the tech industry, is analyzing profiling who are the people in the tech industry and thinking how to attract people that are not in the tech industry to be part of that. I think these are global lessons in a way. Of course, it's adjusted from place to place that can also be studied in Hong Kong.
Thank you. 我有问题想问问毛校长，就是您说的那个产学研，那么在香港呢，这个学很好啊，研也可以啊，但产呢就没有多少产，所以这个产学研这结合呢，怎么做法呢？那还有一个问题要问你，就是说，你刚才有个图说明像那个 Silicon Valley， 它附近有很多大的工厂。那么其实，在深圳也差不多，你们附近呢有华为啊，有中兴啊，有腾讯啊，联想啊，百度啊，万利达也不少了，就是有点像是 Silicon Valley 了。那么香港现在还没有，那你的意见，香港怎么样？因为现在这个政府也说要抢人才、抢企业嘛，我们怎么样去吸引一些内地的大的龙头的或者国外的龙头企业？你们这方面有什么经验可以分享一下？
这个的确，刚才我在那个 PPT 里面提到，那个深圳虽然这个大学相对于香港、广州来讲， 还没有那么这个先进啊。但是它的高科技的企业，这个产业应该来讲做的最好啊，像在这个大湾区。这个原因其实，我想可能不同的人有不同的理解。这个我的理解就是说，这个因为深圳是个移民城市啊，它的这个凡是去深圳去工作的人，多多少少都是有一点这个冒险精神的，啊，冒险精神就是去办企业，说的通俗一点就是去发财去的啊，所以这个办企业的这种欲望比较强烈，啊，而且深圳是这个在中国来讲，它这个市场经济这个比重更大一些啊，更大一些，而且它那个机遇也抓得比较好啊，因为那个华为、腾讯，他们成长的时候啊，正是这个高科技企业这个国内起步的时候啊，不像现在竞争这么激烈啊，这么激烈。当然，这个说深圳的大学相对没有那么先进，因为办大学跟办企业不一样啊，企业可以通过10年可以长得很大，大学需要很长时间的一个积累，需要一个文化底蕴的一个沉淀啊。这个我相信，这个假有时日，深圳的大学也会赶上这个企业的这个发展的，所以我们就提出要我们这个大湾区要融合啊，就是这个利用香港的教育科技的优势啊，跟深圳的这个创业的这种氛围啊，比如说现在在河套地区啊，现在我觉得是一个很好的一个结合点啊，现在这个大湾区这个一体化的这种趋势条件越来越成熟啊，我想这是我的一个个人的一些想法。
Okay, I think in addition to the discussion among the panel members, are there any questions in the audience that you'd like to ask or some statement you'd like to make? Please raise your hand and we'll pass you the microphone. I saw one hand there.
Hi, thank you very much, Professor. And I have a question for 毛校长，还有 Hendrik， 还有 Albert， 因为我们公司 Greater Bay Technology 是一个科技园的一家孵化的企业，也是一个 ideation， 现在正在申请那个 incubation， 同时也是因为我们想去那个在深圳开一家深圳福田开一家那个子公司。我知道，就是香港的这个特首，他的这个规划就是有关这个北部都会区，还有就是河套区，都把这个生物医药范围就是定义为其中一个重点的行业。但是目前在深圳，如果我们看深圳的那个生物医药的话，大部分要么就是在光明，要么是在坪山。那在河套区这个方面，我想请教就是在座的各位，我了解科技园在河套区那边已经有一个分园了，方便介绍一下相关的一个未来的一个规划，或者是在福田，如果生物医药公司要在河套区那边来就是发展的话，有什么那个发展的那个机遇，还有这个相关的支持？谢谢。
这个因为我去深圳时间不长，正好1年时间，对这个深圳的这个高科技的园区这个分布情况我不是很了解，是不是请这个
河套现在正在建设当中，2024年年底会有第一个，2004年年底，2025年年初会有3到5个大楼会建成。北部都会整个计划是叫生命科学的一个发展。我觉得如果要在生物科技里面发展的话，香港跟大湾区的配合是非常重要的。香港的强项是我们的基础科研。刚才我讲的，比如说你要做diagnostic 啊 therapeutics 的研发，香港几家大学都有很好的科学家，然后怎么去商品化，怎么去再工业化新型工业化，我觉得不能光靠香港的。所以这个整个规划，北部都会是很大的一个发展，河套是0.几平方公里，北部都会是100多平方公里，好大的地方。这个整个规划还没有完全出来，我希望可以尽快可以听得到。但是我的唯一的一个回复就是说，香港在基础科研上面可以做很多东西，怎么去跟内地尤其是大湾区配合，把这个commercialization 要转化是非常重要，而且同时我们这里也能够吸引很多国际人才过来。我刚刚1月份去了 Silicon Valley， 也见了很多人，很多人都有兴趣来香港发展，所以人才跟这个跟大湾区的配合，我觉得是非常重要的。
那我也补充一下，就是因为刚才毛校长也说了，就是20+8啊，20+8的话，这个是深圳市政府的给每个区的有一些的战略的定位啊。你刚才讲的，我忘记了，生物科技是不是光明还是哪一个地方啊？但是肯定是有个区是大力要发展的啊。但是福田的话呢，有个特别的地方，就是包括河套，就是福田保税区，就是跟河套是连在一块嘛哈，所以其实跟港人的一些就是重点的合作领域都会就是涉及得到啊。这个我也知道，就是内地政府哈，深圳政府对生物科技对香港这方面的一些 advancement 哈，还是很重视哈。也在河套里边可能有一些可能potentially 哈，就是可能有更多的一些政策上的一些就是创新哈，包括我们的生物科技的一些数据的一些就是交流啊哈，以前的一个这方面的话可能有一些就是不容易啊，但现在未来的话可能有一些不一样啊，所以我想就是如果你在河套也可以研究一下，就是未来的一些政策的一些支持在你的行业里边啊，我相信的话可能有一些 good news coming up 啊，谢谢。
Okay, I'd like to have a question to ask Albert. Albert, in your presentation, one of the slides talking about the Inno Hong Kong project, where you have 28 projects, all of them, and each has received a government's funding of around 300 million to 500 million, which is very substantial, not only by Hong Kong standard, by world standard. So how is the progress so far, for this, Hong Kong project?
The project has been going on for 3 years now. Every one of them has some cooperation with international, well-known universities. Every one of them. As soon as the cities open, I'm seeing a lot of professors coming from overseas. So I have events almost every day in the science park now. I mean, like stem cell, AI, robotics, a lot of things going on. I honestly believe that we're missing an opportunity. There's a lot of investment by the government, and the professors are doing what the professors are doing well in research, and we have not done enough to help them think about commercialization. I think we're now starting to push for more startup commercialization, talking to investors. We have been bringing investors to help them because there's all of them. For example, Nancy Yip is doing neurodegenerative medicine research, and Liu Pengtao is doing all-purpose stem cell. These are really good, world-class professors, scientists. But if you ask them to think about commercialization, you're asking the wrong question. They should not be thinking about commercialization. They should do what they do well. And we should bring in more industrialist scientists, investors to help them think about what's the next step. There are people like Li Zhexiang or Liu Yunhui, they know what they're doing, they will commercialize. But there are a lot of very strong professors that they're doing a lot of research that would have an angle for commercialization, but they shouldn't be spending too much time on it. It's a scientist. So we need the industrialists, the professors to help them do that. And this is part of our jobs, and we need to work with ITC, Innovation Technology Commission and Bureau to make it happen. So to answer your question, it is progressing very well. We need to go to the next step. It's been going on for 3 years. The next 2 years would have to be more commercialization, incubation, not just research or writing papers.
But my understanding was the purpose of this kind of Inno Hong Kong project is commercialization. It's not for research.
Correct.
So when we're going to evaluate, we should, evaluate the progress of our achievement from commercialization, right?
Very much so. Well, partly to blame is the pandemic and the things was kind of slow. But in the next 2-3 years, I'm sure and I hope that there will be more commercialization discussion, investor discussion, smart money discussion, and help them think about the next step. Because when the money runs out, we got to think about what to do with the scientists.
Any other questions from the audience? Yes, I saw a hand at the fourth row. This gentleman.
I have 2 questions. The first question is to Mr. Emil Lati, and I know that the society community is a very success in Israel, but that was a failure in China and both the Soviet Union. What do you think is the reason? And the second question is to Prof. Mao. 您之前在那个新年音乐会的那个校庆启动仪式上说过，深圳大学作为以城市命名的大学，将始终和深圳经济特区的发展同命运共呼吸。深圳市委书记孟凡利同志之前也说过，深圳经济特区的历史使命是依托香港服务内地。那您觉得作为每一个那个普通的深大学子，那他们身上所肩负的历史使命和时代使命是什么？毕竟高校除了作为科研之外，那会每年有很多很多毕业生，那这些毕业生才是我觉得是对那个城市和地区的发展做出那个贡献的更多数的群体。谢谢。
First of all, regarding Israel, again, I think it's a combination of, education, culture, geopolitical aspect, and so on. Government support also that, again, created this ecosystem that allowed this innovation and creativity to flourish because it was also a necessity. Necessity because of lack of natural resources, necessity because of geopolitical situation. I think it's not, you cannot compare it completely to China, because in China you can also see a very sharp and almost unprecedented growth in the last 40 years. Again, some of the elements are typical to Israel. Some of them can be adopted in other countries. Some of them cannot be adopted in other countries. Some of them are quite tailor-made to us. But again, I think there are certain specific that should be put a lot of emphasis to, and probably the main thing and the main focus should be in the human capital.
这个你问的这个深圳大学这个学生的这个使命啊，这个是一个很大的一个问题。我想的话，这个我作为校长啊，当然我们希望我们的学生都能够有很大的这个成就啊。能够像这个马化腾孟晚舟这样的我们这个著名的校友一样做出一个很大的一番事业但是反过来讲像那么成功的学生毕竟是少数我们也期待我们更加这个广泛的这个同学们能够在你自己的这个工作生活当中这个做出一点你们想做的事儿为这个社会的这个发展多多少少做出一点贡献我觉得作为校长我就很满意了这个因人而异谢谢你。
Thank you. I think because of the time, we have to stop the panel discussion, and some of the speakers they have busy to going for another occasion. So we should end our discussion period here. And may I invite the audience to give a big hand for the speakers. Thank you very much for your very interesting and enlightening speech. Thank you.